How crypto started, and who started it. Are you one of the 84.02 million people that have cryptocurrencies stored in their wallets? One of the most highly contested issues in the world of global finance right now is cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, BTC, was deemed by Forbes to be the best investment of 2013 back in 2013. In response to this, Bloomberg published an article in 2014 stating that Bitcoin was the worst investment of the year. The history of cryptocurrency has been eventful and unpredictable, beginning with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, shutting down the darknet black market, and ending with the Securities and Exchange Commission approving ProShares Bitcoin strategy, ticker BITO, the first Bitcoin exchange traded fund, in October 2021. The beginnings of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first ever established cryptocurrency and continues to be the most widely traded and recognized one today. In January 2009, a computer programmer or group of computer programmers, using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto, introduced it to the world for the first time. Satoshi Nakamoto's true identity has never been established. The decentralized ledger known as the blockchain was first detailed in a white paper published in 2008 by Bitcoin's unidentified developer. This paper predicted that the blockchain will become the central component of the cryptocurrency market. A blockchain is a digital log of transactions that is copied and distributed over a network of computer systems to ensure the information it contains is kept confidential. Bitcoin's price has a history of wild swings. A professor at the Questrom School of Management at Boston University, named Mark T. Williams, once stated that Bitcoin has the volatility that is 7 times larger than gold, 8 times greater than the S&P wink with tongue sticking out 500, and 18 times that of the U.S. dollar. Satoshi decided early on to place a limit on the number of Bitcoins that could be mined. This was done to stimulate both supply and demand. There were only allowed to be a maximum of 21 million coins in circulation at any given time. On the 29th of January, there were 19,276,325 Bitcoins in circulation worldwide. Nevertheless, since the operators of Bitcoin mining round their estimates down whenever a new block of coins is produced, most industry experts believe that it will be 2,140 years before the maximum supply is reached. With the launch of Bitcoin in 2009, Satoshi Nakamoto mined around 1.1 million coins before vanishing from the public eye in 2010. He handed leadership of the platform on to Gavin Andresen, formerly known as Gavin Bell, who immediately began working to decentralize it. That there was no central authority, server, storage, or administrator was the result of this. All interaction between the parties took place directly between them, and each participant had a copy of the blockchain. The sole reason for the existence of the network was to validate and authenticate the transactions. As a result of the increased uncertainty brought forth by these acts, the price of Bitcoin decreased. As the Bitcoin mining pool Gauss.io reached a hashing power of more than 51% for the first time, however, control problems began to arise. Gash's popularity meant that it was feasible for coins to be double, spent, or counterfeited, and they might force other miners out of being rewarded for their activity. This is because one of the fundamentals of Bitcoin is that power cannot be gathered in too few hands. To the relief of those involved in the Bitcoin industry, the parties voluntarily established restrictions that redistributed hashing power to bounds that are acceptable and sustainable. On May 22, 2010, a Bitcoin transaction took place for the first time in the real world. This occasion is celebrated as Bitcoin Pizza Day among Bitcoin fans. The delivery of 2 pizzas from Papa John's cost Laszlo Hanyek's 10,000 BTC, which he used to pay for the service. The pizzas had a retail price of approximately $25 per. In 2021, when Bitcoin's price was at its all-time high, the 2 pizzas would have been worth a combined total of $630 million. The Gartner hype cycle is a life cycle that is typical among new and creative technologies. This cycle is responsible for some of the excessive volatility in the Bitcoin market. The innovation trigger comes first, followed by the peak of inflated expectations, the trough of disillusionment, the slope of enlightenment, and finally the plateau of productiveness. These are the 5 stages. 8 people who won the Nobel Prize in Economics have referred to Bitcoin as a bubble. This is because many people have made huge riches in Bitcoin, only to lose it later. This is comparable to the widespread Dutch tulip frenzy that occurred in the 1600s. Supporters of Bitcoin, on the other hand, point out that even though the cryptocurrency's price has dropped 5 times, it has also returned to its prior level each time, but the value of other bubbles has not recovered. The strength of the economy is another significant component that goes into determining the price of Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin experienced significant decreases during the crypto winter of 2022, which was so named because it occurred around the same time that the Federal Reserve began aggressively boosting interest rates to combat inflation. The willingness of investors to take risks almost entirely vanished, and liquidity became a significant problem across the exchanges. The value of Bitcoin dropped by more than 60% from its all-time high of $68,990 in November 2021, and market pessimism continues to this day. Adoption of Bitcoin and the debate around it. Supporters of Bitcoin also point out that an increasing number of establishments, countries, and platforms are embracing digital money, and they express optimism that Bitcoin may one day become a global reserve currency. Bitcoin is recognized as a currency in the United States as well as 7 of the top 10 economies in the world measured by GDP. Egypt and Pakistan are 2 of the 9 nations that have completely outlawed the cryptocurrency known as Bitcoin. Some 42 countries, including Saudi Arabia and Taiwan, have tacitly prohibited the use of Bitcoin. Several nations have launched full-scale Bitcoin trading operations, frequently in response to mounting challenges in the international financial system. In 2021, Bitcoin became the official currency of El Salvador to alleviate the country's severe economic problems. Unhappily, the price of Bitcoin has plummeted sharply since then. The nation is still fighting a losing battle to satisfy its financial obligations, and public adoption has been disappointing. At the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the Ukrainian government opened up 2 cryptocurrency wallets to collect donations. Within the first week, the country received more than $10.2 million in donations, which were used to pay for both humanitarian aid and military support. Blockchain technology is going to be utilized in Ukraine's plans to reconstruct the country's economy. Bitcoin transactions totaling $8 billion have taken place in Iran as a means of evading financial sanctions imposed by the United States. The consequences of Bitcoin on climate change are another source of dispute surrounding cryptocurrency. Bitcoin mining consumes a substantial amount of electricity and is responsible for 0.1% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. The Cambridge Bitcoin Electricity Consumption Index, (CEBSI), which is published by the University of Cambridge, offers estimates on the amount of greenhouse gas emissions that are associated with Bitcoin. These emissions are currently estimated to be 48.35 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. Speculating on the prospects of Bitcoin's future. The collapse of Sam Bankman, cryptocurrency frauds exchange FTX, and sister firm Alameda Research was a major blow to the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. Even though Bitcoin is having a banner first few months of 2023, up roughly 40% year-to-date as of February 27th, the cryptocurrency industry as a whole was dealt a major blow. The consequences may be felt for a considerable amount of time, and Congress will decide what rules are necessary for Bitcoin to move ahead. It is not yet clear whether or not the industry will be successful in maintaining its commitment to decentralization. On the other hand, the conditions are ideal for new developments to take place in the field of blockchain technology, such as the implementation of non-fungible tokens, also known as NFTs, on the Ethereum blockchain. Applications built on Web3 are gaining traction as well, particularly in the gaming industry, which is an area where digital currencies could find an enthusiastic audience. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.